What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 12 of This is Boston Baseball Podcast, brought to you by B Clutch Sportswear. We got another exciting show for you. A special guest, Jon Shepard, who's currently a strength and conditioning coach and former professional minor league baseball player with invites to try out for Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles, and the New York Yankees. He actually played 5 years of professional ball in the Can-Am League, Frontier League, and the Atlantic League before eventually making his way to amateur ball here in Boston for the past 15 years with the Yawkey League, Park League, and BMBL. We got lots of baseball to talk about with him shortly, but first, allow me to bring in my co-host, Omar Ortiz, coming to you live from Puerto Rico, where he traveled for the Caribbean Winter Baseball Tourney. Unfortunately, Johnny McDonald is not going to be available on tonight's show, so it's just going to be me and O. Let's bring him in. What up, O?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
How is Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico está muy fabuloso.
So the tournament's over already, huh?
Tournament's over.
How'd you guys do?
We do well. We gave up 4 runs in 3 games.
Wow.
And we went 1 and 2.
What?
Those 3 games. Yeah.
Not
It
much
was
offense.
it took us, I say, 3 games to get going. It took us a game, and we beat that team. Granted, the team wasn't that good, but we beat them like 15 or 6. It was 16-1, and that game woke our bats up a little bit. And a lot of the teams we play out here, they've been playing all year, and it was great competition. Even it was 35 plus division. There was a lot of great athletes, good pitching, great hitters. It was a great experience.
How many teams were there, do you know? Total?
It's 2 divisions. It's 35 plus and then 45 plus. Our division had 8 teams. I'm not sure how many the 45, but probably similar, maybe 8, 9.
So how many games did you end up playing?
We played 5.
5 games? Wow. And if you made it...
9 innings, bro. 9 innings.
9 innings? Holy shit.
9 innings, yeah. Wow. So think about this. We played 5 games. We played... the tournament started on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So in 3 days, we played 5 games.
Wow. And if you had made it to the finals, how many more games? Just one more game?
If you make the playoffs, it would have been 2 semifinals and finals. Top 4 teams make it. So we yeah, and it's not like we were like, okay, we're like, if we lose, and it's because we didn't have any more pitching. So even if we made the playoffs,
right, you'd have to.
We had no one. Like I was looking around. Everybody on my team, there was 14 of us. So I'm looking around. And I'm like, yo, who the hell can pitch? And then Mark, that he was on the show, he goes warm up, and I'm like, Mark with his condition, I'm like, I'm not gonna put Mark out there in this heat after playing 5 games in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I
2
can't do that. Yeah. So Johnny grabbed the ball. And he said, yo, I'll pitch the rest of the game, and shouts to him, because if not, bro, it would have been a long, long last game.
So we'll say that's why Johnny's not on the show. He was too hurt. He had to pitch.
Yeah, we could make excuses for him. He came all the way from Massachusetts to go eat Longhorn in Puerto Rico.
So they're out to dinner right now instead of doing this podcast.
He's eating filet mignon.
At a place where he could have just gone here in Boston.
Oh,
And you're outside right now.
I'm outside
you're in a t-shirt, so it's got to be pretty warm there.
No, it's snowing. No, it's beautiful. We were blessed with the weather. A couple of the games, it was real hot, like real hot. And then when it was getting real hot, it started raining, so it cooled everything down. So I'm telling you, we had a lot of great weather. You know, I know it's cold back home. Did it snow today?
I think it did. Yeah, I think a little
Snow
bit
today.
today. Yesterday, yeah. Yeah, you're
Oh yeah,
coming back to some cold weather. I'm sorry, buddy.
yeah. But tomorrow, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm leaving
Yeah,
at 5 a.m. So
5 a.m. That's rough. Yeah, but you'll be so tired. You'll hopefully sleep through the flight. How long is that flight?
4 hours.
Oh, that's not
I
too
don't think
bad.
I'm. I don't think I'm gonna be able. I don't sleep on planes, man.
Either do I. I hate flying.
Especially everything that's going on with
I was
planes.
just
I'm
gonna say
afraid.
that. Well,
You
knock
know?
on wood. But yeah, that shit's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Every day
So,
it's now. It seems like something else. You hear. And I know this is a baseball show, but we were just talking about the crazy trade with uh,
yes.
Dallas and the Lakers. That's
Yes.
nuts. Seemed
I
like it was
woke
a.
up this morning. I woke up this morning. You know what? Let's bring Shep in.
All right.
I gotta talk. 'Cause me and Shep talk basketball all the time.
All right. We'll reel it back into baseball, but I think this is something we got to talk about, ladies
But
and
I also
gentlemen.
think. Go ahead.
Our Week 12 guest, Mr. Jon Shepard. Welcome to the show, buddy. Nice shades.
MMG.
Hey, happy to be here.
What's good, my brother?
Just trying to stay warm.
Hey,
Go to Puerto Rico.
listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should
yeah.
have
That'll
came
be
back
that'll
to
be
us,
in the
bro.
future. Yeah, that'll be in the future when I don't have a 1-year-old. I'm trying to wrestle down at night.
Or you can bring him down with you.
Yeah, he'll like that. Yeah, he's a little sponge. He'll be running out on the field, throwing everything.
Hey, let's do it, brother. Luka Doncic for AD. What the hell was that?
Crazy.
I don't know that was very surprising because
Yeah,
I felt like AD was the only one that was still friends with LeBron, and now that he's gone, I something must have been up or the Lakers just felt like, okay, well, let's get Luca here. Like that'll still fill seats. It's obviously different than AD. Uh, they lost all their big guys now, and again, Lakers got gutted. I mean, yeah, they get Luca, but let's think they gave up their main big guy, who I don't care what past years. Like AD is still probably a top 10 player. Like he's a banger, but then they also gave up what two a second round pick and a first round pick or something
and
like
a
that.
first round pick and a couple players.
Oh
They gave
god,
up
yeah,
Prince as well.
yeah. So the way you gotta look at it, yeah, Luke is 27, but he hasn't won a championship. He got him the championship, but he has put on weight, like we were talking about before. He put on weight. I know he doesn't play any defense, so now you have backcourt with LeBron and Luca. Those games, they're not going to be able to put up 150 points because that's what they're going to need with those two playing defense.
Yeah,
So
we were talking about it today at the house with the guys. When I woke week up, I'm like, they told me, oh, Luca for AD. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
yeah,
Luca for AD? To me, it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
I'm
two
like,
very
Luka,
different players, like a point guard and a big man. Like,
yeah,
uh,
and then you're pairing up Luca with LeBron, and Luca and LeBron both need the ball.
yeah,
You know, it's not like Luca and Kyrie. Kyrie needs the ball, but Kyrie can also create on his own. Like he can,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's more of a distributor, and as much as I don't like Kyrie, he at least plays some defense. Like he can get up on you, where
Yeah,
Luka just wants to take time off. He saves his legs for offense. So it's more or less like another James Harden out there. But you see, every
yeah,
time they bring someone in who is like a ball guy, like didn't work with Westbrook, like all the guys the Lakers tried to bring in that LeBron shipped out. I don't think it was them. It just wasn't working for LeBron. And AD, everything he does on defense makes up for when LeBron wants to take his time off or when he has to take his maintenance days, which is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
never,
Hey,
you got Michael Jordan out there, 40 years old, playing all 82 games. Then you got LeBron James playing one of every like 3 games. Like it's terrible, especially with the how expensive the tickets are. Like people paying money to go see him play. Like go play. Like don't play
exactly.
44 minutes. Like freaking just get in there. But
Get in there.
yeah, the game is soft nowadays, and that's the whole generation. It's like you can tell the generation that came up watching Jordan and the generation who came up watching LeBaby.
The baby, I like
the
it. The
baby.
baby. Because I personally think the Mavs won the trade. Even though
Oh
the
yeah,
better player is probably Luca, but the Mavs adding AD bring a different aspect to what they were lacking because Luca got them there, but in the
yeah,
finals the Celtics exposed them
yeah,
defensively. Like they were going at Luca and JB was cooking him.
yeah. And
Tatum was cooking him.
I see Kyrie making AD a hell of a lot better than not Jordan, than LeBron made AD. So yeah, that
I,
absolutely helps out.
I think you because now you don't have a ball dominant person on that team, and
No,
then you got Klay Thompson, you got the big I think it's Powell that's coming back, so that team is good, and I could see them being the front runners again
and
from the West.
AD is going to spread that floor more for them than I even think Kyrie would. Not Kyrie. Damn it, Luca would. Where you have AD, okay, so he can go down, he can go against your big guys, he can also step out and shoot a three. But then you have, yeah, Klay Thompson, who might not be like the splash bro he was before, but he's still Klay Thompson. You have
And
him,
he
you
can
have
still hit that
Kyrie.
fucking.
Yeah, that's a tough lineup there now.
Would that team beat the Celtics?
Right now, yeah, whatever the hell, like I don't know what the Celtics have going on.
Yeah.
I was watching the whole thing, and I don't know what commentator said it, but it was like spot on. Where you're seeing all the teams out there, like they're laughing, they're having fun, whether they're winning or losing, and then they show the Celtics going, and they all have like their headsets on, they're doing their own thing. Like it didn't seem like they were really like meshing well or enjoying each other's company. So it's very strange seeing a team that comes off winning the NBA Finals still being a young team, but then like not really like melding or they're clashing, and then all those talks about Brown's going to get traded to the Rockets and they're going to break up Tatum and Brown, which I really hope that's not true. But
I feel like they
yeah,
talk about
they
that
just
every year.
they don't seem to be clicking like they were last year.
Why? But like we've won championships together and we've lost championships, and what do you think it's? And we could go transition to baseball after this.
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you win a championship? You've won championships. What happens the next year? In my experience, is some guys take it for granted and or think they're better than what they really are and don't understand that everyone around you is gearing up for you and they're getting better to beat you. So a lot of the times when the Celtics signed everyone for long term, I'm like, I don't like that. You know why? Because the game evolves.
Mm,
Sometimes then every year everything changes. So if you win the championship, now every team is building to beat you.
yeah,
So if you don't get better, now you allow their jobs to be easier.
yeah. Well, it goes in with I guess the mentality. Everybody's going to be different. Some guys are going to come back with the Brady or Belichick mentality, where it's like they're still hungry. Like, what's your favorite ring or what's your favorite Super Bowl? The next one. So you have the guys
Yeah.
that want to continue to get after it and be that dog, or have more championships than anyone else. And then you have those some people that kind of like you said settle, where it's like, all right, I got my ring in professional status. It's like, all right, now let's get paid. I already got a ring. I want to get
Yep.
paid.
Yep.
Like unfortunately that it goes like that where our league or men's league is a little different. I feel like sometimes if someone wins it, they feel like, oh yeah, I can just kind of like hold that on, or I can kind of step back or relax. But actuality, we're just getting older, so okay, now I got to work that much harder. And like you said, yeah, everyone's gonna be gunning for you. Everyone's gonna want to try to take you guys down because you won that championship. They want to have that bragging rights to say, hey, I beat the people who won it last year. But you need to so you need to decide: are you going to compete, or are you just going to lay back and live on what you did in the past? Because I mean, that's what Yankee fans I feel have been doing for a long. Hasn't done too well for them lately.
Oh,
So,
we got 27 rings.
so speaking of the
Yep,
Yankees, oh yeah, I forget you're a Yankees fan, Omar.
No, I'm not a Yankees
Oh,
fan.
you.
That's never. I've never been.
Why did I think
from New
that? You
York, but
just.
not a Yankee
I'm
Oh,
fan.
you're
from New
from New
York,
York.
but
That's it.
I'm a baseball fan. I don't got a
Right.
team.
Oh, okay.
I don't-
Okay. But speaking of
Yeah,
baseball, we'll reel it
favorite
back
team is what
in.
everyone's paying you.
But Johnny, for those who don't know you, give us a little bio on yourself. Tell the people about yourself.
Yeah, so named obviously Jon Shepard. Grew up in Salisbury, Mass, in the North Shore. Was playing baseball my whole life, like multi-sports, but had a good amount of Division I college offers. Was doing very well in the high school AAU circuit and a few showcases. But this was before Perfect Game blew up and had all the area code games and everything that they have now. And then right before the biggest one at the time, the TPX Top 98. I had a head accident, ended up ended up dying. Was resuscitated on a helicopter. When I came back,
What happened?
so I
If you're comfortable talking about it.
we had the Bay State games here in Boston, and I was on the East team. We won it, and I went out to celebrate with my friends after at a all you could eat Chinese buffet. Ended up going back to my friend's house. No alcohol was consumed. Me and my friend were sitting on top of my friend's car waiting to get inside the house, and my friend went to take off to go pick up his girlfriend, and we didn't hear him because he was showing off his subwoofers back when subwoofers were cool to have in the car. And
Put 'em at the trunk.
I went, back when everybody was buying everything from like Best Buy and throwing it in your car.
Circuit City.
Yep. I jumped off the
Wow,
car.
Circuit City.
Right when I jumped off, he accelerated. I lost my balance,
Jesus.
cracked my head on the pavement, and
Holy shit.
cracked my skull in 2 different spots. Blood pulsating out of the ear. Supposedly that was fun.
What?
In the coma, came out, missed the showcase, lost a lot of the offers I had. Ended up going to Wheaton, where I think that was probably like the best place for me because the Wheaton baseball program there, for Division III, I would still put it above most Division II programs, even some Division I programs here in Mass, because what Pavelski has developed there or built up there is pretty amazing, and you can see that especially now where the transfer portal is so big. You can look at like UConn had two or three Wheaton kids, and Bryant had a Wheaton kid, and Northeastern had 2, now 3 Wheaton kids. Georgia had a Wheaton kid. So obviously Pavelski's recruiting well. He's developing well. He's taking people that may have been overlooked, and then you can also look at how one of the kids he had for 1 or 2 years, 2 years I think, is now AAA with the Mariners. He's done a great job with developing people, and I think a lot of the stuff I learned from him I kind of took with me, even on my journey when I was doing all the tryouts or pitching in front of scouts and going to certain places to be seen, and then eventually signing in indie ball. And I still would call him, kind of bounce some ideas off him, or like, hey, like rough outing this day, like wasn't sure, or hey, great outing this day, but I still felt this. So it's always nice to kind of have that coach you can call back on or reach out to. So that kind of helped out a lot there.
Did that injury change your your plans for what you wanted? Like, did you want to? And you've always been a pitcher, right?
Yeah. Pitching was always my main position. But when I had that head accident, obviously losing the Division I scholarships kind of puts a damper on your outlook on things, because that's everybody that's the goal. Like no one's goal is I just want to go D3. Like no, like you want to go Division I. You want to have all the lights. You want to play in Omaha. You want to have the resources, the facilities, the gear, all the stuff that comes with being a big Division I athlete. But when that was kind of lost or taken, I used that really for motivation at Division III or playing at Wheaton. Not really settling, being like, all right, so this is it. I'm just going to do this, do that. Like I still had it in my head, like I'm still going to play pro. I'm still going to do this. So what do I have to do today to get to where I want to be? So that was the approach I took. So it, in a way, definitely matured me. Not that I was a hothead or full of myself in high school trying to do certain things, or when I started to get talked to by some bigger programs. But I think it definitely was a humbling moment because I took it the right way. And I know we'll talk about it later, but that's kind of what I like to distill upon the athletes that I train, talking about good things can happen. Great, roll them. Bad things happen. You have to find a way to make those bad things make you better, or you have to find the best thing in those situations because it's a short life. Baseball is a great example. You have to have a short memory, so
Yeah.
make the most of it. Like no one's going to come out on the field and pat your butt, or no one's going to be like, "Oh, you lost the opportunity. Here's a brand new opportunity." Like you got to work for it. So I want everybody to kind of have that fight in them, even when they make it, even when they get that offer. Like that's just recognition that your hard work's paying off. So that should be okay. Now I got to work harder. I got to do more. I got to continue to push because the attitude shouldn't change once you make it to a certain level. If anything, you need to step it up more.
Now,
Wow.
Shep, what did you learn about yourself when you had the accident? And I've known you for a long time, and I've never really spoke to you about this situation, and listening to you, was there what was the recovery road like? Did you ever think that maybe you won't be able to play baseball again? Did that
Yeah,
motivate you to be better?
yeah. I mean that was actually very scary. Like how it is. Like growing up, like playing sports your whole life, like that's all you know. Especially with the background I had of playing for certain teams, playing nationally, and everything like that, and then it just gets taken away. It's like I never had that backup plan. Like, oh, what am I going to major in? What am I going to do for a career? Because I never had that like any other thought other than sports, which some people might think is reckless, but that's what I had, and that's what worked for me. And yeah, when I I had that accident, it definitely scared me to the point where I started looking at things like, what can I do to get back there? Because I came out of the surgery, I couldn't hear out of my left ear, and I had double vision. So, like everything I saw three things. For example, I wasn't allowed to go work out or do anything or go to a gym. After my head accident, they said like, oh, like give it like 2 months or even longer. Wait till checkup. My stubborn self. It was, I think, maybe the second week I was home. I went to Latitudes in Salisbury and started shooting around on the basketball court. And I remember, like, drastically, there seeing three hoops, and I was just trying to shoot for the middle hoop.
Shoot for the
And
middle.
Oh my
For the
God.
middle,
yeah,
bro.
and it was working. It helped, and my mom saw me that day. She was mad, like, oh, like you're not supposed to be doing that, like. And I said, like, I'm fine. Like, look, I'm making my shot. I just didn't tell her that I saw three hoops, but
Jesus.
like that was rough. And then I remember one day, I was like scratching my ear because it was itchy, and it was the one I couldn't hear in. And I did it, and like a blood clot, maybe like 7, 8 inches came out, and like
Jesus.
out of my ear, like nasty. But right when that happened, it was like, oh, like I can hear again, like sick. So that gave me a little more help. But kind of once I saw I could like kind of start doing that stuff, the vision started to get a little bit better. Um, Things became a little less permanent, I guess, in my mind of the injury. Then I kind of like actually worked out more because ironically I didn't really work out or do much. I was more on the uneducated side of lifting will throw off my jump shot or lifting will make me not throw as hard. Everything like that. But then once I had my head accident, I was like, all right, so I definitely just like fell behind, or in some cases, like I lost a year. So I need to make up for it. So what can I do? So I went to the gym, I work out with my friends. I tried to jump on to people who knew more than I did. And then I would talk to some of my friends who were either physical therapists or trainers themselves and try to do anything I could to try to catch up.
Mm.
So, yeah, that it definitely made me work harder. Ironically, having that head accident. Not that I wasn't working harder, but it kind of put things into perspective. Like okay, rather than going to meet up with my friends after the game, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna go work out at the gym, or I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna write down certain things like what worked in the game, what didn't work in the game, so I can be better prepared for next time. So it made me kind of grow up a lot faster my senior year because that happened going into my senior year.
Yeah.
So did that injury help inspire you to become a strength and conditioning coach, which is what you're doing today?
It did, and when I was playing still professionally, I was working at a physical therapy place, and doing that in the off season obviously helped me so I could recover and be good and ready to go from my season when it started. But also just being in that field, listening to the therapist talk, learning more about the body is pretty amazing. And like I could honestly listen to therapists or doctors like talk all day about the human body because it's very interesting to me, how it adapts, how it does things without us physically saying to do things. Like a wound heals without us being like physically doing something just happens. But stuff like that is pretty cool to me. And learning, okay, so if this is injured, this is gonna fall, or if this is tight, then this is gonna happen next. Example, like if your forearm gets tight, then that's a good premonition that okay, something's gonna happen to the UCL. And then Tommy John would be in the future. So learning about the body was very interesting to me, which in turn like got me going. Obviously, where I said I had my head injury and I started working out more so I could be better for baseball and get to back where I was. That got me more motivated gym wise, but then being around very well educated people kind of got me more inspired to be a strength coach and to get the certification that I have, because a lot of people can be trainers, but the certification I went and got allows me to be a coach, which is a lot different in our field. So I took a lot of pride in that, where I didn't go to school for it. I kind of self-learned while being around people, or even on the road on buses. Like when we were heading on an 8-hour trip, I would try to read as much of all these books that I could, so when the season was over, I could take a test. So yeah, it definitely motivated me to the field that I'm in now.
Shep, I have a question, my brother. So we're all getting older and we still play the game. For people watching, and guys that we compete against, how important is to stay active, go to the gym, make sure your body's well prepared for a season? Like what recommendations do you give to the players? Because like for example, I'm playing in Puerto Rico and we played 5 games in 3 days and my body is killing me.
Yeah.
I,
That's just
I
old
keep
age.
I keep making faces because when I move it hurts. You feel me? And
Yeah.
you live too far, so I don't know. So what can you tell the people, my brother?
Well, unfortunately, Father Time always wins, but there's things we can do to kind of hold it back. But biggest thing I can say is, the saying, motion is lotion. Continue to move. Be a kid. Like it's not the activities that get us to age. It's the fact that we stop doing those things. Like
Yeah,
drive by any playground, you see the kids going crazy on the jungle gym, doing crazy stuff like that, running, sprinting around, like even like having a 1-year-old child right now, like he's picking things up, moving perfectly. It's time, it's sitting, it's sitting on a couch, it's Netflix and chilling, like stuff like that that really breaks your body down. Like there's always a time and place for everything, like kind of mental side, or to watch things, or to play video games. Like they're fun, but if certain things are your goals, you want to just continue to move, take care of your body, listen to your body. Now that we're getting older, we're not going to be like out there training like we were when we were 19, 20 years old. We have to kind of back off on certain things and focus on more of satisfaction of living or satisfaction of life. So I'm not going to try and deadlift 600 pounds anymore. I'm just gonna, okay, what can I do to be strong so I can continue to sprint, chase after these kids, know that, okay, I have 9 sessions I have to coach kids tomorrow, so I'm going to be on my feet a lot. I'm not going to break my body down today where I'm just going to be on my feet for another 10 hours. So
yeah.
it's listening to your body. When you feel good, go after it, take advantage of it. When you're feeling down, listen to your body, go for a swim, do lighter movement, do some bands, do mobility, do the stuff that you don't want to do. Like
So
try to
always
do something.
stay moving.
Yeah, yep. Try to do something that will get you closer to your goal. So if it's a men's league, professional league, high school, college, your days of training, take advantage of it. Your recovery days. do something. Like, don't just recover by laying in bed and sleeping. Like, do your mobility work. Go for a light jog. Take some time, like a mental break. Journal. Like, I know all this stuff sounds soft sometimes, but like really journaling. And I tell all my athletes that is take a journal of your day. Like, okay, like I did this today, I did that. Like my jump shot felt great because of this. My fastball felt great or was moving more because I felt more pressure on my pointer finger. Like journaling stuff like that is great for your mindset for the next event, but it's also great for just kind of toning back on the day and letting your body kind of get in that recovery mode.
I like that.
So I do want to get back to the strength and conditioning stuff because I checked out your Instagram page and the stuff that you're doing looks incredible. And you had kids of all ages, from younger to older, and I put your Instagram page up on the screen, so I really want people to check that out because it's clear that you know what you're doing. But I want to go back to so you had the incident with your head, which was terrible. I'm sure your friend hopefully felt awful for what happened. But so how did you go from playing D3 to eventually getting calls from MLB teams for tryouts? And how crazy was that? What was that experience like?
So it was a lot of fun. Had a great experience with that. Like I said, it wasn't a sign of okay, I made it, like I can relax. That was more of recognition of okay, I'm not crazy. I know I have a shot at this. Like, all right, so let's keep working, let's keep pressing. Um, it was fun. I mean, I ended up working out like Wheaton. We had a great baseball program for training and everything like that. But then in my off time, where I wasn't a big party guy in college, I ended up talking and becoming good friends with a couple guys on the track team that were very into the physical side. Wanted to be coaches at some point. One qualified for the Olympics, so I ended up doing a lot of sprint work with them, of training work with them, and learning stuff on the track side, which hindsight was a great thing for me as a baseball player and why I do a lot of sprint stuff with our athletes now. But doing all that and then uh, putting in the extra hours, not just the hours that were asked of me to be with the team, but doing stuff on the side. That really helped. And then taking advantage of summer ball and then playing as well as I did there and hitting certain numbers. Summer ball, you see that a lot. A lot of guys will go D3 and then they do well. They go to a Cape team for a temp contract. Next thing you know, like they're killing it in the Cape League. They transfer to a D1. So it's uh, recognizing when an opportunity comes and then making the most of it. So you never know who's watching. Where that was the thing, like Omar and I when we were coming up, there wasn't social media. You couldn't just do something and it was on Instagram and send it to a scout or send it to a team. It was very much you never know who's watching. So always, keep your head up. Don't throw your helmet. Be respectful. Like I've seen scouts or college coaches sitting up in trees hiding. Like that's what it used to be like before social media, before they had all these funds where they would send certain coaches to certain places. But just continuing to always act like somebody was watching, I think, was a big thing that helped my process of going from D3 to the playing professionally.
And and how does that work? I mean, do you get a phone call from like these clubs and they were like, we're gonna set up a time for you to come down and throw
Yeah,
off the
so
mound? Or?
back in the flip phone days, I would have someone call, and I'd see a number I didn't recognize, and I'd answer it, and it was pretty much asking, hey, so and so area coordinator scout for the Mariners, want to let you know, like we want to invite you for a workout next week at this place. Would you be able to make it? Certain things like that. Getting calls like that, or um, even just my coach saying that there would be a few scouts at the game. Just to let me know they want to talk to me after things like that. Um, it was pretty cool getting stuff like that, or after a game leaving, or after regionals leaving, and a scout coming and giving me a card saying they were going to be in touch soon. It was pretty cool experience, especially going through what I did. Um, yeah.
So what was the highest level you played?
I guess you know getting an invite to spring training would be one, or Atlantic League, where I know some people, well, not some people, but I'd say Atlantic League is referred to as like the highest of the indie ball
Yeah,
leagues.
yeah.
So I guess playing there, they equate that, I want to say, to like double A.
Hmm.
Skill wise, because there are a good amount of guys in Atlantic League that have either MLB time or at least double AAA time. So it's pretty cool being in there. And I know when I was with Lancaster, I was in the bullpen warming up with a guy who was Mariano Rivera's setup man at one point for
Wow.
the Yankees. So that was pretty cool. Like talking
Nice.
talking to him about his experience with Mariano and things he learned from him. That was probably the coolest thing in that aspect of being there, where I was one of the younger guys, talking to those guys, just being a sponge, like listening to lessons they learned from other guys, or hearing stories about, Roy Halladay would come in, dripping sweat, like headphone his books and like already written and everything. And that was before the team workout, because he would have his workout, then he would work out with the team. And yeah, it was just hearing stories like that was pretty cool. Like understanding what separates, the Roy Halladay, Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, like guys like that, from just guys who get there. Like
Yeah.
I, going back on what you said about, when you win a championship, like you settled, you go. Like the guys that get there, it's pretty cool. Like it's one thing. Like not everybody makes it. Not everybody plays professional, and then not everybody gets to double. Not everyone gets to triple. Then it's a very few amount that make to the majors. But then getting there, the guys that do everything to separate themselves from just being another guy in the majors is pretty impressive. The stuff that they do.
So, so how I know a lot of players that were signed, they play in minor leagues, and then they get released, or they just don't live the dream. The dream never becomes reality, and a lot of the players that I know, they'll walk away from the game. You never done that. You started playing amateur baseball. You're actually one of the pitchers that dominated for a couple of decades. You've been playing out here for a long time, at least 10 years, 15 years. You've been playing Yawkey League and you've been playing BMBL. You played for our team, the Havoc. We won
Park League.
championships together. You played Park League. You played a lot of leagues. What keeps you going? What made you say, you know what? This is not. It didn't work out. I want to continue to play baseball.
I think it's what everything starts off like your love of the game. Like you pick up a baseball and start playing catch or throwing or hitting, not because you think it's going to be your income one day, but because it's fun. And I think that's how I've always looked at the game. Is it's just a kid's game. Like it's a way to help you take it not so serious when you get to those high intense or high pressure moments. Is just understanding it's just a game. But yeah, I mean, I love the game, so I never not enjoyed it. Uh, I'll quote Ken Griffey Jr. He said when he shows up to a game or an at bat and he doesn't have butterflies in his stomach, that's when he knows it's time to retire. And I still, like, even when I was in my prime or when I was just out of playing in the pros, I would still get the same feeling if it was somebody who has big league time in the box, or if it was some plumber from down the street batting against me. I still get those like butterfly moments. Like I have to get this pitch. Like holy crap, I'm on a mound. Like this is fun. But yeah, it's still a game that I enjoy. I love. Now I have a kid, and I want him to be able to see me play. I mean, he's a sponge. He comes to the gym with me. He watches me coach kids. He watches kids train. I'm showing kids arm care stuff, and I look over, and he's
He's only
13
one,
months.
right? He's 13
Yeah,
months.
he's
Wow.
13 months. He's doing like wall taps. He's doing reverse throws. I'm like, I'm in awe of him. But yeah, I mean, it's a game, and I love it, and I don't really see myself really stopping. Like maybe the competition level, because obviously there's only so long you can play with
Yeah.
these college kids. I think sometime that will come to an end. But even then, I think then I would probably join like some Sunset League or 45 plus or something like that. But yeah, right now I love humbling the college kids.
That
So,
slide is still sliding.
Yep.
so I'm sure, you've done this many times. After that, the incident with your head is, what if? So, where do you think you would have been had that incident not happened? And maybe, better things happened to you because you had to work harder to get there.
I mean,
But
yeah.
and maybe you don't even do strength and conditioning at all, because if that never happened. So where do you think you would have been if that major incident never happened?
So if that accident didn't happen, I probably would have ended up at UVA, University of Virginia. I'm not sure if I would have gotten as good as I got. Like nothing against UVA at the time. Like I loved everything I saw there, but I think something with Pavelski at Wheaton really set with me and really had something click. So I think that was kind of everything happened for a reason, or that I think helped me to get where I am in a positive way. Um, I don't think anything would have been much different there, but I think it was more things I wish I knew now back then. So I would have worked out. I would have trained differently. But I mean that's life. That's our field. You Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle. If they had the training we have nowadays, like it would have been unreal. Like that would have been like the Mike Trouts, the Juan Soto's, the Aaron Judges. Like it's crazy. You're seeing that in the NBA. Like what's the name from the the Pelicans from Duke?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Oh, Cooper Flag?
Not Kufla. He's legit. He was the number one pick for
Left,
the Pelicans from Duke.
lefty.
Who, Zion?
Zion.
Yeah, Zion Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
so he's a great example. But I mean, even before that, Derrick Rose, like they're both great examples of, Derrick Rose
Yep.
in his prime, like put LeBron James down. Like he was a menace. Like he was the best player in the NBA
He
for
was
those
dirty.
2 years before his knees started going. Zion Williams, you saw at Duke, he made a cut and tore through his shoe. Like he was too strong. He hurt himself, and they had to retrain the man how to walk and how to run because he was too strong and powerful. Like it's insane. So you, we're just getting too good in our field at making guys stronger, making guys faster, throwing the ball harder, and that's why you're seeing injuries go up so fast, especially with UCL injuries. But it's like the equivalent of putting that 500 horsepower Shelby engine into a Honda Civic. That thing's gonna run great for like that first 60 seconds. It's gonna be blowing the doors off of people, but then that thing's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's very different. Like I wish I knew. I would have done things a lot different when I was in high school. I would have changed. I definitely would have thrown harder. I would have done things differently there. But physically, I would have been better. Mentally, I don't know. I think the mental side took me a lot further than my physical side took me. If I'm being honest, like I threw hard when I was there, but I never was that 98, 99 guy. But I knew how to pitch. I knew how to work my off-speed stuff. I knew how to read a batter. So I think the mental side would have been hurt, not as good if I went to a D1 thing. But I think the physical side would have been a little better. Obviously, it's hard to deny certain things that you have at your disposal at a Division 1 school.
So, did you have a favorite like player growing up, or someone that you modeled? I know you got the nasty cutter. That's like your go-to pitch. You talking about Mariano Rivera earlier. Is there any player that you kind of modeled your game after?
Yeah, I mean, the way he played, the way he acted and carried himself, Ken Griffey Jr. was always my favorite player. I think everybody's favorite player growing up. Like,
Hmm.
I even named my dog Griffey. But yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. and then Pedro Martinez, my favorite pitcher. Like, that's who I tried to be like. I loved Pedro's attitude. I loved how he attacked, the way he looked at the game, how open he was with talking to people. Um, even Mariano Rivera. I loved watching him, even though I was a Red Sox fan growing up. Like it's very hard to boo or not be in awe of a guy who's in the major leagues facing the best hitters in the world, they know exactly what pitch is coming, and they can't do anything about it. Like that's pretty scary. So it's pretty hard not to like Mariano Rivera. And yeah, and I'll always remember like the video. I have the poster where it's him at the All-Star game with Roy Halladay. I think it was Clay Buchholz, and then there's another guy. Pedro was there, and Mariano Rivera is there showing those guys his cutter, like showing them how to throw it. So you have, two Hall of Famers and a guy who just threw a no-hitter who at the time was being talked up as he's going to be around for a while. He's going to be a big Cy Young guy. And he's just out there showing him exactly how he throws his cutter. And could those guys throw that pitch? No. Like that, like it's just remarkable what he did with that one pitch.
Beast.
So I don't know if you happened to hear Johnny McDonald's comment about Pedro a couple episodes ago, but he thinks that every team in the majors nowadays have 5 Pedros in their pitching rotation, which was just
I don't know about that. I think guys are throwing significantly harder than guys were, even Pedro was. But the fight that Pedro had in him, Pedro's changeup, his curveball, the fact he had 3 different fastballs, he could put it in your ear hole or he could put it on the black outside. Like next to Greg Maddux is like very scary. His ability to put the ball where he wanted, and I think the most impressive game, like seeing guys throw perfect games, seeing guys throw no hitters. I think the most impressive thing I've ever seen on a baseball field was Pedro Martinez against the Yankees. First batter of the game, gave up a home run, like 400 feet to right field. But then the next 27 batters, 27 up, 27 down.
Yep.
I think he had 18 or 19 strikeouts. It was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Like nobody looked comfortable. And I don't know if there's a pitcher in the game today that has that mentality, that can give up a home run, that can give up a home run the first batter of the game, but then say, you know what, F you, I got this. Like, guys, get comfortable in the field. This is going to be a short night. And then just shove the next 27 batters. Not even, like, blink, not show them up, not yell at them, not, like, puff their chest. Just, strike 3, ground ball, whatever, walk off the field, act like it didn't bother him. And I like that. That to me is always like the biggest competitor right there. Not yelling or showing outwardly that you're pumped, because I feel like that even gives the other team like, oh, like they feel good that they did that to us. Like if you make it seem like it doesn't matter, I feel like that will bother the other team more than yelling, chirping, doing all that stuff. So I very much like Pedro's suave mentality of just whatever, I'm here.
Yeah, you can't teach
hit this.
That mental game that he had.
Yeah,
not many pitchers or players have that, and you can't. That's not something you can teach.
No.
So, what would you say, if any, are the most common mistakes athletes nowadays make when it comes to like training and conditioning?
It's either social media, seeing something cool on Instagram and being like, "Oh, I can do that," and then trying to do it and hurt themselves, or every kid thinking they can do it on their own. That just makes it hard for them. Or kids lifting like football players when they're a baseball player. Like you have to be smart, swallow your pride. Just because your friend can bench 400 pounds, you're a baseball player. You don't have to bench 400 pounds. Like be smart. That's it. People's pride or not willing to acknowledge that they don't know everything. Because there's been too many times I've had a kid come in for an assessment with like, and most times it can be like their dad comes in and I can tell right off the bat that they don't want to have their kid sign up because the dad thinks that they can train them better or thinks that they know what to do. Where that's my job. Like that's my profession. Like same thing. If there's somebody that's better at something than me and I have an opportunity for my son to go there to learn something from them, I'm going to swallow my pride and know what's best for my kid and have to do that. So that's the biggest thing there is kids understanding that there's a lot of help out there and being willing to accept that and be coachable. Because I feel like that's gone away from a lot of talks as perfect game and all those showcases and all the analytics grow. is they don't talk about coachability anymore. And I've seen, I'm not going to name names, but I know a few ball players in Boston recently who've been drafted, haven't done anything because they're not coachable. But God, are they gifted athletically, physically, but just not mentally. Go back to Bull Durham, the whole $1 million arm, 10-cent head. It's that mentality that I think hurts a lot of athletes.
I'm glad you bring that up because we've spoken about that in previous episodes. What do you think about this generation? Work ethic, the want that I feel like when we grew up, like we had to hustle to get ours. It was
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't easy to get known. You know what I mean? Because we didn't have
Yeah.
social media, we didn't have publicity, advertising, marketing. What do you see our
NIL deals.
generation? We didn't have none of that. Where do you see the game going?
Unfortunately, I see the game going in a terrible direction. God, what was his name? The guy who always does the Little League World Series and is a Hall of Fame baseball player,
Oh,
or as good a player as you can be without being a Hall of Fame baseball player. Scott, not Scott.
the announcer.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God, yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. I can picture him.
He said it in an interview recently where perfect game has made baseball too much of a business and not a game. You're seeing
Yeah.
kids uh, worry too much about what their analytics are, or making sure that something gets seen on Instagram, or hey, like I just did this post. Can you share it? Can you share it? Like too many people sharing stuff for other people where, like example, if a kid is busting his ass and we do a post for him, and he's gone from, being cut from his teams to being first team all state, and we do a post for him, his friends don't, repost that for him or give him props for that. But instead, LeBron gets Luca, and they'll share that on ESPN. They'll share all that stuff, or a rapper gets another rapper pregnant, and they share that. It's like who cares? Like who's that helping?
Yeah.
Um, and unfortunately, I feel like the game is going too much on like clout or what looks cool, what looks flashy. Um, like I said, with the perfect game, they had a whole list. They had 10 kids run a 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 60. Like insane track times where, our day, like kids weren't running that fast. And if they were, there was not 10 of them in one single place at one time. But then they said to some Hall of Famer, like, can you believe these numbers? He's like, yeah, but, go around the MLB and ask everyone in the locker room, hey, how many of you guys ran this time? And maybe one out of every team will raise their hand, or not even one, um, because it's not an analytical game. Analytics can get you get you noticed. Yes, there is a translation. If you have 110 extra velocity off the tee, that's impressive, and that will help with getting that home run, or when you make contact or have barrel percentage. But it doesn't mean you can hit a slider low and away. It doesn't mean you know how to approach a kid who knows how to pitch. It doesn't mean it's going to translate to the MLB or even to a projectable level. Um, and I feel like kids are getting too caught up on that instead of learning how to play, learning how to fail. Like, understand, like, you go 0 for 4, like, take something away from it. Like, were you too antsy? Were you hitting the ball right at people? Like, I've seen guys get signed go 0 for 4, but they barreled up four balls to the shortstop, second base, outfield. And I've seen a kid not get signed, and he hit 2 home runs in a game, but he struck out the other 2 times, or he had poor body language, or he tried showing someone up, like, not willing to learn, thinking they already made it. I just think this generation needs to humble themselves quickly, understand that they are much more gifted than even our generation is, and because of everything that's come, whether it's strength coaches like myself, or just how the game has gone. I mean, we've adapted, we've evolved. You can say whatever you want. Like, there's definitely a difference in what we're doing athletically. Um, but they need to learn that with that all that positive stuff, they need to understand there is going to be some negative stuff that comes to it, and you have to get ahead of it.
So
Yeah.
What age level do you teach? Is there a minimum age? And how can people
I think
find
the
you?
youngest athlete I have is 10 right now, but he started with me when he was 8. So yeah, I work with 8-year-olds all the way up to 80. Like anybody that's willing to uh, put their trust in me, I'm willing to train because there's always something you can do. I'm not like this. I'm smart, so I'm not going to be like, oh, you're 8. Let's put a barbell on your back. No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna like teach you how to move better, safer, stronger with med balls, bands. There is some weights that we can do. There's certain resistances we can do. But I'm more a fan on the side of, okay, like this kid moves great. I'm not going to tell him, hey, you have to move like this. Like, no, like your squat looks good. It's not like the whole feet hip width apart. If it's a little bit wider, but everything looks safe, he looks strong in it, then good. Like everybody moves differently. Everybody has different features to them or different reasons for why they move. So I'm not going to put everybody on a cookie cutter program, or I'm not going to have everybody do be an exact clone. I'm going to try to take every athlete, no matter the age, no matter their skill set. I'm going to look at them like a chain. Like your chain's as strong as its weakest link. An athlete's as strong as their weakest muscle. So I'm going to attack whatever their weak stuff is. I know right now I just got an athlete who's 11, but this kid is a monster. He's probably my size, and he's 11, and
Wow.
he's
Jesus.
dropping bombs. He throws hard. He moves terribly though. Like he loses his balance just walking.
Tom
We
Brady.
got through his warm up and he was out of breath.
He's big, man.
Yeah, he's a big boy. But for him, the power's already there. If he's hitting home runs and at that age has an exit velocity of 90 already, like shit, like I'm not gonna try to mess with that. Okay, you're doing that. Let's make it so you can get ahead of where other kids are. Like let's teach you how to do these things safely. Let's get you to
Yeah.
run better, smooth out some of your movement. Let's teach you to hold weight here. So if you do slip, if you do move, if someone bumps into you, if you're playing basketball and someone tries to body you up, let's make it so you don't get hurt. So that's my job right now is letting him grow, letting him develop, but teaching him to be safe and how to interact with outside forces.
So how do people find you? Is it your website, which I posted
Yeah, we get a
word of
lot of
mouth?
people from word of mouth. I mean, like that's the best advertising there is. It's free. But yeah, word of mouth, the success a lot of our athletes have had. I know we have the number one player in Mass that trains here, and now I have his pretty much 9 kids on his high school team that come all the way from the Cape.
That's awesome.
Um,
That's all.
and then there's another kid that I was training when he was 9. Now he's the number one catcher in Massachusetts, and he's driving from Boston to come train with me on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Uh, yeah, got a lot of kids that either know me from the past, see stuff on Instagram, or just some of the kids I started off with. They know them or seen them and seen the success, and they want to try to copy that or just get involved with it.
Yeah, I mean, I highly advise people to check out your Instagram because I was watching some of the videos and you mentioned that catcher. What I really liked is you showed, a lot of the movements or trainings that you did, but then you showed how it translated into the game. I think you threw out the runner. You were showing like exactly, the different mechanics that you were training, and then it showed him in a real game situation throwing out a runner. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then
Yeah.
some of the moves in the videos, I was like, oh, what is that? I'd never done that stretch before. Yeah, I'd advise people to check it out. Shit, you've encouraged me to want to make an appointment because like
I
you
like
were saying
I
earlier,
like
we're all
everything
getting
to,
older.
to translate, and I want the kids asking me like, oh, why am I doing this exercise? Why this? Because if you ask your coach why you're doing something, and they can't give you a good answer, then they're just like kind of shooting arrows in the dark, or they're just guessing. Like I want people to ask why. So one, it holds me accountable, but also I want them to be curious. I want them to be intrigued by it because we're all students of the game. We're all students of the field. Um, and I like that kids are engaged with that.
Because I don't know about you guys, but growing up playing baseball, like my high school coach was a cop in the city. So like, what did he really know about baseball? I'm not saying all high school coaches are like that. Obviously, there are some that are better than others, but um, yeah, and we're trying to get kids back into the game. Um,
And you're
so
seeing that a lot with the good AAU programs. You have some AAU programs that are paying their coaches a good amount of money to be
Yeah.
coaches, and like they're the high up programs, the ones that cost a lot to win. And then you have other programs that, yeah, it is, this kid's dad is the coach. Like he played a little high school, he did this, he did that. But yeah, you're starting to see a lot more of that with certain programs, is having the right people coach their kids. And I think there is a lot that goes to that when it comes to coaching. Like just because you were pro in something doesn't mean you're good at it. Like the old saying is, some people can do it, some people can coach it. Um, just because they're pro doesn't always mean they're good at it. But at the same time, just because somebody was never pro doesn't mean they're not good at coaching something or getting something across. Because those are the people that do spend the extra nights in the library or extra time studying up on studies. Like it's not saying like social media is great where there's all these different exercises and resources out there, and it's great for pushing stuff like that. But there's also like the bad stuff, like where people are trying to reinvent the wheel and trying to sell you on something big or little. Like there's all that negative stuff out there, but the people that do the proper research, there is a lot of things out there. They can find studies on, what's the effect of 6 hours of sleep on a school night as opposed to 8 hours sleep. Like there's studies for everything out there. And I think the people that take the time to look at the studies and trying to understand why and continue to educate themselves and stay involved are the ones that do become the good coaches or do the proper help and due diligence to the kids. Because yeah, there's nothing worse than and being a parent now. I see this more, but there's nothing there's nothing more humbling than a parent entrusting their kid to you or being like, hey, like we want to sign our kid up. We believe in what you're doing here is going to help. Like that that I think is always awesome, and that always pushes me to want to be better and want to continue to educate myself and learn, uh, because I understand like the acknowledgement, or I understand the privilege I'm getting by someone allowing me to help their kid get to their dreams or get to their next level. But also, they have to be smart and be like, all right, like this person can help my kid. I'm also doing an investment. Like this will make college cheaper. So like people have to look at it like that too. But yeah, it's a pretty great field in a lot of aspects there, and there's
Yeah.
also a lot of stuff that people need to keep an eye out for or look out for the fluffers or the people who are faking it until they make it. Like
right,
that's
right.
unfortunately a lot of people like that.
Shep,
Yes.
so you're busy. You have your business, you have your family, you have a son now. Um, you're committed to the game. Um, what keeps you going playing now when a lot of guys that I know, they tell me, oh, you're still living the dream while you playing, like pretty much like low key, like making fun of you guys because we're playing at an old age. What keeps you going playing this game, and what message do you have for someone that is our age that wants to play, but thinks, oh, and listens to the naysayers? What advice do you have for them?
Uh, wow.
And are
Few
you
ways.
playing again this year?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
See,
until my wife says
that's the answer, dog, right there. You see, of course.
yeah. I mean,
But what
I
what 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 they what talk to me about that, of course. You feel me? Because that tells me you still have the passion, you still have the drive. No matter what's
It's got the
going on in your life,
butterflies.
you still want to
yeah.
play baseball.
I mean,
So
that's it. Like, I love the game. I want to play. I want to compete. I want to compete with my friends. I want to be out there. I mean, any day you're in the sun, you're on a field with nine of your good friends. Like, it's hard to beat that. Like, that's a good day any day. And I think that's a hell of a lot better. Or doing leagues like this, waking up tired, a little bit sore in the morning because of what you did the night before is a hell of a lot better than I'm gonna leave my family for the weekend and go golf, like, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna sit at home or a business trip or anything like that. Like, yeah, like you still get to be a kid. You still get to go out there and have fun or play. Like, I will take that, and they can make fun of it or give you a hard time as much as they want. But hey, I'm the one out there doing the stuff that you did 10 years, 20 years ago, or I'm doing it better than what you did 10 years, 20 years ago, and I'm this old. So make fun of it as much as you want. I know it's probably coming from a place where you're a little bit jealous. So,
Facts. Let's
use
go.
that.
For
You got to use
real.
that.
I like that. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Well said. Well said.
No, and I agree with you. I like look where I'm at right now. I'm in Puerto Rico. Got a break away from my day to day. I work a lot. I have my family like you. I have a lot of stuff going on. So taking a break and still coming down in the February to play baseball, to me is like this is why we do it. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
like you said, you can still be a kid. You can still compete. It motivates you to do certain things to get you ready for a season. And like you said, you're not home. You're not watching TV all day. You got something else to look forward to go away from day to day because we all know
Yeah.
as adults, life is stressful. And
Yep.
the more our family grows, it's only gonna be more headaches, more tension, more to your plate, more stress. And to go out on 2 or 3 days a week, one day a week for 3 hours and be a kid again and chill with your teammates and build that memories and camaraderie. People don't know what they're missing.
Yeah. No, they definitely they, they don't have their priorities, or they have lost that kind of uh, childhood aspect of them where they would, like you said, want to. Oh, let's use you for example. You're in Puerto Rico. Who the hell wouldn't want to be in Puerto Rico in February right now? You saying earlier, it's gorgeous there. You're playing baseball in Puerto Rico in a different country. How many people can say they played ball in a different country? You're competing in a tournament with some of your best friends, like against people you would never ever meet in a regular basis, but you're playing baseball against them, a kid's game. Like that's awesome. Um, yeah,
Playing
it's
against
always been
former
stuff like that.
professionals from all over the country, different
Hmm.
talent. It's a great thing to see because then I start measuring. Okay, because I think Boston has one of the stronger baseball competition wise all over the
Oh,
country.
absolutely.
We do, and I feel like we need to start traveling more as Team Boston out here because when I see these teams and we're just a couple players short, I'm like, if I had Shep, if I had Medina, if I had this guy, no one would beat us out here because that's how
Mhm.
strong Boston baseball is. Like I've seen
Well,
it.
that's what
I've
I think
been
is
doing.
funny. Whenever my boys come up from either like the Carolinas or my friends from New York, and they come and like they see one of our men's league games, and they're all like, "You got to take it serious here, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's freaking like yeah, we'll be cussing back and forth at each other. We'll be like yelling. We'll be like giving each other shit. But as soon as the game's over, yeah, you'll see them like hanging out after the game with each other. Like that's it. Like we in mass, we take our sports pretty serious, especially like around the hub, like." Everyone hates the whole Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots thing, but like that's it. That's mass. Like that's how we grew up. Like with that rivalry.
By the way, this is Omar and the Havoc down in Puerto Rico.
So,
You
nice
gotta admit.
jersey.
Thank you. I was going to say those are some
Be Clutch
fucking
Sportswear.
yes, sir. Those are we had a great time, like I said, and I wish eventually, me and you always talk. I always say, Shep, you got to come down in one of these tournaments. Bring your son. We're family oriented. It's
Yeah,
and
I'll
it's all
find a
about
reason to get to Puerto Rico in February.
yeah, it's all about the experience. That's all we could take with us is experience.
Hmm.
And the last time I came down here was 13 years ago, and that's when my 13-year-old was just 1 years old.
Yeah.
And to come down and still play and watching that I can still compete at this level, and playing against a lot of great players because we did see great competition. But don't get
Hmm.
it twisted. If we would have had our guys from Boston, we would have ran the table out here.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Need
Boston
some
still.
assholes in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we would have kicked some ass out there and then go eat some fucking pinchos.
So I know Omar's got an early flight tomorrow.
Yes,
He had
sir.
a long weekend. So one last question, Omar. Do you have one? If not,
Uh, what's how long do you think you're gonna be playing for?
Probably until I physically can't play anymore. I mean, right now I'm still training. Like, I mean, I'm coaching maybe 10 hours a day now on my feet. So the last thing I want to do is touch a weight, but I'm still training as if I got a baseball season to get ready for. And like I said, with the grippy thing, until I don't have those butterflies in my stomach leading up to a
butterflies.
game or leading up to a season, that's when I know I'll be done. But my boy's one right now. He's throwing with both hands. I'm hoping he's a lefty, but
That's awesome.
I need to make sure he can see that I was playing, or
Right.
I am that dad that still wants to go out there and get after it.
Teach him the knuckleball. He can play forever.
Like I say, if he's not a lefty, I'm going to make him a switch hitting catcher.
Don't do
Hey.
it. No, don't make him a catcher.
Hey, they
My
got new equipment
knees.
now. They got the little pads
Well,
that they
that's
can
true.
sit on, and now they go on one knee. It's different now.
Yeah,
It's less stress on the knees.
Yeah, I
yeah.
wish I
I got
get
a
those
lot,
knee
lot of good
savers.
buddies that are good catching coaches, so got some good people to send them to.
Well, Shep,
Nice.
we thank you for being here, and
Thank you.
we plugged your site, pfdstrengthtraining.com. Check it out. Go see him. Are you like
3
booked
years
right
in the
now?
basement,
Like,
and we're
if
in our
someone
first
wanted
year
to,
at a new facility.
oh, you got a new facility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, my brother. You're doing
Thank you.
great. I'm proud of you. One last question for you, my brother. Are you playing the WBC this year?
I would like to, as long I already got reached out to. I think by the Red, one of the coaches that's the catcher.
USA Red.
Yeah,
USA,
so I
right?
think I'm gonna do that again this year. That's
Awesome.
always a
Let's go.
blast. Love what you put together there.
And I would love to meet your son.
He'll be there this year. Last year was a little tough. This year he's gonna be there.
What's his name?
But I would love to meet him.
Hudson.
Hudson. Nice.
Hudson, let's go. Tim Hudson.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
He gonna make you a millionaire, boy.
Yeah,
I
probably
hope.
will.
I hope that's gonna be my
Probably will.
retirement fund.
My man, it was great to see you, my brother. I
Thank you,
hope we
Great
Shep.
seeing
talk
you
soon.
too.
Hey,
Enjoy
before we
the Super
go,
Bowl.
D'Angelo Fox to the Spurs.
That just
Really?
happened.
What is it? De'Aaron Fox?
D'Angelo.
The guy from the
D'Angelo?
Kings. Fox.
Yeah.
D'Angelo.
Fox to the Spurs, bro.
For who?
Interesting. Well,
I didn't check.
who's the
For
big guy they
Wemby
got
and
there?
Fox? Wemby and
the-
Fox,
the-
that's a good combo.
Yeah.
Lakers
I mean that's a good trade for them.
4-player deal.
I still can't believe the dude, his dad, the Hall of Famer, big guy, Kevin Garnett and Pierce just did like a podcast thing on him.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the white guy, he's like European, but friggin' he was two years in a row first team All NBA, and it's 2 years in a row he's not on the All Star team because people don't even know who he is or don't vote for him. He was
Who's
just
that?
on that the Netflix show with all the different NBA guys with like Butler, Tatum.
I gotta look
What's
that up.
from? Yeah, but he's
what team?
balling out every year. Like 21 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, like killing it. No one knows.
What team?
For the Kings.
Oh, that's the bonus.
Yes.
The bonus is a beast.
He is a beast.
Yeah, not an
He's a
all-star.
bonus. He's better than his dad.
I don't know. His dad was a mean man.
Yeah.
His dad was good, but he's better than his dad.
I love
He got
you.
more
Gotta
tools.
watch the thing that Garnett was saying about him. How he was like the meanest guy. Like he'd walk in the locker room, it'd be like Shaq, Olajuwon. I dunk on both of them while having a cigarette with his wife there in the locker room, like the biggest old school guy. It's so funny.
This is the only podcast we watch. I'm sorry.
Yep, you only watch This is Boston Baseball every Sunday at 8 o'clock. Shep, thank you for tapping in, my brother.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Thank you. Safe flight.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Take it easy. So, yeah, that was pfdstrengthtraining.com. I don't know if you checked out his videos, but, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. What he's
Me
been
and him
doing.
talk all the time online.
Nice. So yeah, I know you got an early flight tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Next week there'll be no
Off.
show next week because of the Super Bowl. So we'll be back in 2 weeks on February 16th with Tommy Butera of the CHBL Giants, the manager of the Giants in Omar's, well, still new league, going to second year. So he's the manager of the Giants in the CHBL. He'll be on in 2 weeks. No show next week because of the Super Bowl.
Who do you got winning the Super Bowl?
Jinx.
Oh, wow, Jinx.
So, like Shep was saying earlier, I think Casey's going to do it. I think a lot of people like Philly or are betting on Philly because they wanted to see Casey lose. I feel like Casey's the new Yankees of football. So I think, I think Casey's going to do it. They're going to make history.
So if Tom, we were talking about this today. So if the Chiefs win when they win, are you gonna put Mahomes as the GOAT?
Oof. I don't know.
I know Bostonians be hating.
Right.
Because only their
he's certainly
players
up
are
there.
good.
He's certainly up there.
But no other quarterback has ever done a three-peat.
Yeah. No, I mean it is. It's. I mean it does put him in the talks, but being a homer, I don't know.
He still needs to hit 7. I get it. He still needs to have 7, but he still has another 10, 12, 14 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like with Brady though, there were a couple of teams that weren't that good that he made good. I feel like with KC, they've always had a really good team.
They're not that good this year.
Not this year.
Not this year. And he's 7 for 7 in late game drives to win games.
Yeah.
Like that man's being clutch. That man's performing.
Well, a lot of people say the refs are on his side. But
stop. I don't want to hear that. Bostonians are a bunch of haters.
Yeah.
You guys are hating, bro.
We are.
Because the Patriots used to get calls too. You forgot the game against Oakland in the snow?
No, Patriots definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can't. Come on, man. It happens. Stop hating on greatness. That's what's wrong with us now.
I mean, the NFL is just rigged in general.
We got to congratulate, not hate.
Correct. Agreed. No, it should be good. Should be a good game.
Should be a good game.
And they played 2 years ago, so I'm predicting the same score. I think it was 35-28.
35-28.
Yeah, and I also like tails, the coin toss. So take heads.
Tails. What color is gonna be the Gator before we go?
So
blue.
On my on my Facebook, like 10 years ago, apparently I bet on blue at plus 450, and it came in. It was a Patriots Super Bowl. So that blue is what's in my head. But imagine being the water boy and knowing ahead of time, like, what it's going to be.
Hey, I'll call my aunt, hey, bet on this. Put the house on it.
Do you know the water boy for any of the teams?
Hey, if you do, please give me a phone call.
Yeah, right.
Well, my brother, thank you.
Sir.
Another great show.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, when Johnny comes back, I'm going to give him the people's elbow.
Yeah, please do.
Being irresponsible.
I hope he enjoyed his steak.
Watching. I know he's watching. I hope your steak was disgusting.
He's got time to watch.
Cold. I hope it was cold. I hope your mashed potatoes were hard.
I love it.
And your carrots
he's actually commenting. He's got time to comment, but not be on the show.
He has a situation. It better not be with the rental, boy, because if you come back with an issue with the rental, I'm going to give you the Stone Cold Stunner.
Piece of work. All right, buddy. Have a safe trip back.
All right, my brother. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Thank you, everybody, for tapping in. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good night. Omar, have a safe trip. Good night, guys. Where's my...